The evolution of films. Frame by frame, a history told in Catfight.
Just 1 year after the birth of cinema, a catfight scene was filmed. Couldn't we say that cinema has developed alongside catfights? The first video might have been made as a comedy film, but this one was clearly made for people who love watching women fight each other. Yes, for people like me and you. This video is a short film produced by the Edison Company, led by Thomas Edison. Edison sought to monopolize nearly all film technology in America. If Thomas Edison hadn't been greedy, Hollywood would never have been born. Because Hollywood was built by filmmakers who had fled the relentless collection efforts of Edison's company, based on the East Coast. Like this women's boxing film, Edison and his company were fixated on producing numerous short films. They likely believed that if other filmmakers followed suit, they could rake in substantial profits from per-film patent royalties. The filmmakers who fled to the West Coast did the opposite of Edison. They made feature-length films starring movie stars. In 1915, Edison lost his legal battle against the filmmakers. Hollywood is unchained. Around that time, Keystone Studios, tucked away in a corner of Hollywood, cast a man who had been a vaudeville performer in a film. His name was Charles Chaplin. This style, which became an icon of comedy films, is said to have first appeared in this 1914 film. This silent film is entertaining and easy to follow even without dialogue or subtitles. The brief catfight scene also seems like a textbook example of such scenes in comedy. 4 years after this film's release, Chaplin had become a global sensation. The year after that earlier film, 1915, a groundbreaking epic was released in American cinema. Its running time was a staggering 3 hours and 15 minutes. Such a lengthy feature film was unprecedented in history. The film has faced intense criticism since its release for its racially discriminatory content, such as portraying the KKK as heroes, but it undoubtedly represents a significant advancement in cinematic technique.
Your tongue is sharp, but this cuts deeper.
The officers do not pay for my clothes.
Keep on trying. You may yet find a blind one.
The year 1915, when Griffith's The Birth of a Nation and DeMille's Carmen were released, was also the year of the Lusitania incident. The film currently playing is an animated movie created by cartoonist and animator Winsor McCay based on the 1915 incident. It is considered the oldest animated documentary. This incident served as one catalyst for the United States to enter the European War in 1917. In the conflict later known as World War I, the American mainland never became a battlefield. There are various theories about how long Hollywood's golden age lasted, but there is near universal agreement that it began in the late 1910s or early 1920s. This timing is thought to be significantly influenced by the First World War. By the 1920s, Hollywood had become the center of the global film industry, producing numerous films. Then, in 1927, the first feature-length talkie, The Jazz Singer, was released. Even in feature-length talkies, the actual synchronization of images and dialogue lasted only about 2 minutes. Music and sound effects were played separately. Nevertheless, the impact this film had on Hollywood was immense, and it took only a little over a year for talkies to become commonplace. I found a film that represents the transitional period to talkies, and while it's just one of many group brawls, it features a catfight scene, so I'll introduce it here. As indicated by the opening dialogue intertitles, this film was originally produced as a silent movie and released in 1928. However, it was completely ignored, prompting a hasty addition of dialogue in a theme song before it was re-released as a partial talkie. Whether it was an event signifying that silent films were already falling out of favor by 1928, or whether the theme of a romance between an atheist girl and a YMCA boy was simply ill-advised, I cannot say. The director of this film is Cecil B. DeMille, who also directed the previously mentioned film, Carmen. DeMille apparently believed that the film failed to become a hit because it was silent. While this scene is comical, a tragic event occurs afterward, and the two protagonists, a man and a woman, suffer greatly. If you're curious, it's in the public domain, so feel free to search for it and watch it.
The protagonist was played by Lena Baset. In 1929, she received a fan letter from Austria. Reading it, it said, "I am a huge fan of this film and of you." The sender's name was listed as Adolf Hitler. She didn't know him.
It's no wonder she didn't know. In 1929, Hitler had only just seized control of the Nazi Party, and the Nazi Party itself was a small political party holding only 12 seats in the Reichstag. The year Hitler sent a fan letter to an American actress, the stock market panic triggered the Great Depression. Its effects lasted until the late 1930s. Amid the Great Depression, Hollywood was enjoying its golden age. In dark times, people sought bright entertainment. And of course, a little romance.
You gotta do that every night. So you did it. What's that, dirty little? She's trying to start something. You can't get away with that. Yeah, well, what are you going to do? I'll show you. Oh, baby, will I hurt you?
Break it up. Put it out. Now that settles it. You're fired. Hey, wait a minute. Who are you and what do you want? My dog.
Your dog?
Against the backdrop of the Great Depression, the Nazi Party gained strength in Germany and finally became the largest party in the 1932 elections. In 1937, Lena, who had once received a fan letter from Hitler, was invited to Germany and met with Hitler, who had become Führer. She later recounted that Hitler persistently pursued her, but she refused him. The history of Hollywood cinema cannot be discussed without mentioning the existence of the Hays Code. Some may perceive that code as unilaterally restricting freedom of expression in films, but that is not the case. Rather, many in the film industry welcomed the Hays Code, saying it helped reduce costs associated with differing censorship standards across states.
So what was banned?
This is the list of things you should not do under the Hays Code. There was also a list of items to be careful about when dealing with movies. All the films covered in this video so far were made before 1934. Films like this one, which feature strong sensuality, are called pre-code movies. In other words, they are films that couldn't be made after the code was established. If you feel old Hollywood movies were wholesome, it might be because of the Hays Code. So what was the relationship between the Hays Code and catfight scenes? Did the Hays Code inhibit catfight scenes in films after 1934? This is purely my personal opinion, not based on statistics, but I think the Hays Code was more beneficial than harmful for catfight scenes.
How can you say such a thing?
This is hypothetical, so there's no evidence to support it. However, I even suspect that due to the Hays Code, catfight scenes didn't decrease, they actually increased. I think filmmakers back then reasoned like this: we want to include stimulating scenes for male audiences, but due to the censorship code, we can't include overly sensual scenes. However, I suspect many filmmakers believed that catfight scenes could potentially provide stimulating scenes for a large male audience. Of course, they probably couldn't have filmed scenes where the catfight escalated to the point of tearing each other's clothes off until they were nearly naked.
Pretty Fighter's history of female fights.
When it comes to the relationship between the Hays Code and catfights, Western films might be symbolic. Just 5 years after the Hays Code began to be strictly enforced, in 1939, the Western film Destry Rides Again was released. The catfight between Marlene Dietrich and Una Merkel in this film was an emotional, intense, sexy, and brilliant scene. I believe this scene holds the same significance for catfight scenes in cinema as the special effects in 2001, A Space Odyssey did for the history of science fiction films.
Isn't that analogy a bit over the top?
Anyway, you get my point, right? Now, while 2001, A Space Odyssey is said to have greatly influenced later science fiction films, Destry Rides Again also had a significant impact on catfight scenes in subsequent movies. As the title suggests, this is a suspense film set in San Francisco at the time, not a Western. However, the posters and lobby cards prominently feature a catfight scene as one of the highlights. Since 1940, several films have featured catfight scenes as one of their highlights, undoubtedly because 1939's Death Street riots again had caused such a stir.
Glad we're getting out tonight. Ducking that car at Collins' place was too close a call.
You would go to that beauty joint?
Yeah? What do you want?
We know your husband's hiding in there. Open the door. Open the door!
There must be some mistake here. You got the wrong apartment.
Open the door! Get in! Edward! Stay right to my window. Don't anybody move. Get in, father! Hey, let's march! He's got a gun!
Now, ladies. Ladies, quick. Let me go.
Well, we've covered the history of Hollywood films from the birth of cinema in the late 19th century up until 1940. How did you find it? Early catfights, once crude spectacles, evolved into intricate choreographed spectacles with psychological depth as technology advanced. Looking back at their trajectory up to 1940, it becomes clear that catfights were the crystallization of cinematic pleasure where cinematography, editing, and direction converged to stir the audience's emotions.
Well, if this video is well received, I'd like to turn it into a series.
If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.